winter solstice 1270. Midinvern, the night of magic. Letho wasn't lying, the hunt had stopped. At the Hanged Man's Tree, the spectral riders selected from among those they had taken. Yennefer was among them. A wraith cannot be killed, only driven away. Every witcher knows that. Yet the riders fell beneath the blows of our witcher's blades. Crimson blood flowed from under their dead men's armor. We could not kill them all. They were simply too many. A stalemate. He was different from all other elves. There was no shame in his gaze. He had never suffered persecution. He had endured no massacres. Humans had not taken his land. This elf was not of this world. He was an invader. We struck a deal. My soul for that of Yennefer. He agreed without hesitation.
Okay. That explains a lot.
Back with me, friend. Got the feeling you left for a minute.
Memories. I remember the Hanged Man's Tree and the wild hunt. I remember the exchange. Me for Yennefer.
So, cards out on the table. Unless you chase me all that way just to kill me.
I chased you for lots of reasons. You owe me some explanations to start with.
Let's say I do.
Let's start at the top.
Tell me about Yennefer. What happened after I departed?
She was feverish for several days. Delirious. In agony. We thought that was it. She was on her way out. Somehow she recovered. But even then she was disoriented. Amnesia like you.
What then?
Well, the woman turned out to be quite a character. Throwing temper tantrums, trying to seduce orcs, trying to drive a wedge between us. After you so nobly sacrificed yourself, we thought it'd be dumb just to leave her somewhere. She wouldn't have survived more than a month. The whims and vigor of a duchess, but she was just a sorceress with no memory. We were in the heart of the Empire. And as I'm sure you know, Geralt, in Nilfgaard, mages who behave like that either drop their bad habits quickly, or are drawn and quartered by horses in the middle of Victory Square.
So I heard.
So we set out, wandered through the provinces. Everywhere we went, she got in trouble and we pulled her out. And then one day they captured us. The Imperial Secret Police. Me, Ox, Seret, and Yennefer.
Imperial Secret Police?
Mm-hmm. We were separated, and they questioned us. Long and thoroughly, but it was uneventful. No violence. That's how I met Vatia de Rideau. And a couple of weeks later, the Emperor himself. Me. A simple witcher.
That name rings a bell.
What happened to Yennefer?
I don't know. Never saw her again. The Emperor offered me a mission in the northern kingdoms. As for Yennefer, I had the feeling she was somehow important to Emir. As I see it, they learned of the lodge from her. Those Imperial spooks have their ways. All I heard is that Vatir had his men watch Yennefer closely throughout the time she was at the palace. Then we went off to slay the kings of the north. That's where my knowledge ends.
So she's in the Empire?
She was when I left.
The guy's being quite forthcoming and helpful.
How did you know where we'd find the Wild Hunt?
Every witcher who wears the viper around his neck knows the place. We had so many books and scrolls about the hunt that I used to think our school was founded for the very purpose of solving the riddle of the spectral riders.
Know who they are? You know the true identities of the riders?
From what I understand, they're some damn elven race. But they turned out to be a big ruse. The legendary Omen of War proved to be a fairground attraction.
No Market Square mage could possibly conjure up a cavalcade of wraiths speeding across the sky. Then there's the amnesia. No, there's something more, I assure you.
Go ahead, enlighten me. I can tell you want to.
There are a lot of legends and myths about it, but the Wild Hunt is a fact. I've fought and killed many of its wraiths. They were spectral emanations, the avatars of real riders. The riders we ran into by the Hanged Man's Tree.
Are you telling me you were carried off by elves? Real material sons of bitches like the ordinary kind we deal with in this world?
They may be ordinary in their world, but they're strangers in ours. The conjunction of spheres. Know the theory? Do you know how monsters appeared in our world?
There's not a witcher who doesn't know that.
So you know there are other spheres. The most powerful of our mages can open passages between these worlds, and they usually do that to summon the monsters we then have to hunt. The elves we saw come from another world, and they weren't summoned. They found the way on their own. It's not exactly easy, so they usually send their spectral emanations. They come in person on special missions.
As they did for you and Yennefer.
Mm-hmm.
So, elves from another world and their trained wraiths. What do they want from you?
I've got an idea. But that's not your concern.
Siri? If I had to guess. See, I haven't read all the books. I haven't finished them. So this is filling in blanks for me. This is quite good. This is stuff that I would have liked to have known before watching maybe all of the series on Netflix, perhaps. Not that it's mattered so far. Okay.
How did a witcher agree to kill humans at another human's bidding?
At the Emperor's bidding, Geralt. And he's no ordinary human. The rulers of the North come up to about where his Pauline's end.
Why?
Simple. He promised to rebuild the School of the Viper, the Witcher's order where I came to be. Witcher's schools in the south fell into ruin long ago, and Witchers themselves became internal exiles, banned from entering most cities. Besides Seret and Ox, I know of 2 other Witchers of the School of the Viper who should be alive and on the path. I don't know where they are. Haven't seen them for years. Now they can come out of hiding. They can come home.
All right. Okay. I can understand that.
Why are you still here? Why did you wait for me this time?
I knew you wouldn't give up. I knew you'd pursue me. And I don't aim to hide anymore. Fact is,
okay.
only you know the truth about me. Well, and a couple of folks whose word isn't worth spit anymore. I never saw you as a foe. I want to go my way. But if I have to fight you first, so be it. This story ends here and now.
Care to tell me what it was all about?
Kill as many rulers as we could. Lay the blame on the sorceresses. Breed chaos. Prepare the North. Soften it before the invasion. And you know what's incredible? We could not have imagined more fertile soil. No matter what the war's outcome, the northern monarchs will accuse one another. Pursue their God-given rights. Seek vengeance and be at each other's throats for years to come. The North resembles a whorehouse on fire, as your friend Dandelion would say.
Oh. Hang on, let's do that bit again.
Care to tell?
Skip that bit.
No matter, the North resembles a whorehouse on.
Yeah, I'm still curious about the assassinations. Let's go through it.
How did you manage to contact Sheila?
It wasn't a problem once I learned of the Lodge's existence. Initially, she watched my every move. But sooner or later, everyone starts treating me like a big oaf. I mean, I can change how I look. I stayed close to Sheila, killed a few beasts for her, and whined about how unhappy I was, how unfair the world was. So much, in fact, that I actually got her gander up a few times. I made sure a few potentially trustworthy witnesses saw us together. Could link us. Security in case I was captured. I also prepared to assassinate the King of Kavir. Esterad Tyson was to be the first victim of the mysterious assassins. But before I could do the dirty deed, Sheila asked me to slay Demavend. The gods had smiled upon me. I couldn't believe my luck. Here I've been trying to figure out how to frame Sheila, and now all I needed was to carry out her orders and follow through.
Where'd you get your information about the lodge?
From the Emperor and Vatir de Rideau, the Emperor's chief spy. And I believe they got it out of Yennefer.
She recovered her memory?
Nah. I'd never claimed she informed on her friends consciously. I expect they found a way to tap into her memory in spite of her amnesia, and without her knowing it. There was a sorcerer present when I was questioned. A young, proud intelligence officer. Whatever the case, they gave me a list of the sorceresses in the lodge. Only Emir, Vatir, and I were present. Only we knew of the mission.
How do you manage to slay Demavend?
Sheila's magic. I mean, she could give us the king's every move. His habits, the positions of the palace guards, anything. All we had to do was navigate the labyrinth and land the final blow. Besides, she had plenty of gold for the preparations. Greased palms abundantly. It had all the makings of a cakewalk, but it's never that easy. We barely avoided our pursuers, and we wouldn't have if not for Yorveth Scoia'tael, another of Sheila's ideas. With Yorveth's elves, not only did we cut down Demavend, but traveling with them put us out of the lodge's reach. We could calmly plan Foltest's and Hensel's assassinations.
How did you know Foltest would come to the monastery's solar?
Yorveth and I planned Foltest's murder. The King of Temeria would have to deal with the Lavalette sooner or later, and he made no secret of it. I was sure he'd want to recover his bastard children in the process. And where do they take the children when a castle's under siege? I had to become a monk, but I couldn't just arrive at the monastery and claim I'd seen the light. Not very believable. So one of Arion's patrols out in the forests happened on a Scoia'tael unit torturing a helpless monk. Arion's brave men drove off the elves and I found shelter in the monastery.
No one noticed you had no wounds?
I paid the monk who treated me a lot of orange to stay silent. Actually, it was only a loan, because I killed him later. Only the dead can keep a secret. Then all I had to do was wait for the situation to develop. When I saw you enter the chamber with Foltest, I thought I might fail. Luckily, you failed. To recognize an old friend.
When did you decide to get rid of Yorveth?
As soon as I realized I couldn't manipulate him. A true fox, that one. He was so observant, so dangerous. I got the sense he might see through me at any moment.
You made a mistake. You were untouchable as long as the Scoia'tael were protecting you.
Maybe, but with Yorveth, my hands were tied. If I'd finished off Kieran...
But you didn't. And that allowed me to drive a wedge between you and Yorveth. I forced you to flee.
And I let you live. You know I could have killed you. You're forgetting.
No, I remember. So Sheila was looking for you when she came to Flotsam.
Mm-hmm. She thought she was still in control and wanted to get rid of me. I'd bet my eyes that she thought I'd lost my mind, or that Yorveth was manipulating me.
And the North descended deeper into chaos.
Exactly. There was just one problem. You. I could have killed you in the Elven ruins. Thing is, you weren't really my enemy.
I don't know what to go with the end of this, because I know what choice is coming.
You screwed up with Henselt.
Sabrina's curse tore that down. First off, we got holed up in that hideout in the ravines. Then Sheila showed up and started watching Henselt like he was her own ass. By that time, his death was no longer necessary. Fate had smiled upon us again. I learned of the summit and the efforts to reconstitute the council and conclave. The ideal setting for the mission's grand finale.
Let's wait. Was there something else there? Yeah, let's finish this.
I'm done talking. Let's finish this.
Wanna fight?
Any vodka left in that bottle?
A swig apiece. Here.
Is this actually a choice, or does it just throw us into it? If I drunk his vodka. I can kind of understand why he did it all.
The Imperial Army is probably crossing the Yaruga as we speak. Pure pandemonium will ensue. The North's finished. Time to go south, where the good life awaits.
You're a fool, Letho. Both you and your Emperor are forgetting one thing. Misfortune brings people together. Very shortly, the North could be united like never before, thanks to you. But that's just not my concern anymore.
I'm not your foe. I never was. Let me walk away and I will. You'll never see me again. Force me to fight, and this time I'll kill you.
I am really torn over this. Because he's a nasty piece of work, but he's obviously helped Geralt out in the past, although that was to repay Geralt back for saving his life. He's kind of dropped Geralt into it this time, but you can understand that Letho was pressured into it. He was in a corner, and that the Nilfgaardian Emperor had him by the balls, basically, and this was his way out. And he did it for his Witcher school, so you can kind of understand why he did, but he is a cold-blooded murderer at the same time. He's a good guy, did some bad shit, but for a good reason. You let him go. No really reason to kill him from Geralt's point of view. And the Viper School are assassins now. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. It's certainly not... They've moved away from the Witcher ways, because Witchers, at least the School of the Wolf, weren't really assassins, but... A few kings here and there, what does it matter to Geralt? The thing is, though, and I won't know until I select one of these, how much is Geralt's name actually cleared from the assassinations? Is it now... Has that come out? What came out at that meeting of the mages? Because Geralt still... Well, his main purpose for all this was to clear his name. Has that been cleared? And the other side of it is that I kind of do feel like I fancy a fight as well to finish the game off. It's quite a tough choice, actually. Sheila and Letho are the ones that are blamed publicly. Soon everyone will know it was Nilfgaard anyway, that's true. You know what? I fancy a fight.
Time to fight. Ready?
As I'll ever be.
He's giving me a lot of headaches.
You fear death.
Oh, you got...
Fight.
You shielded
What
up,
does
buddy.
it feel like to be almost dead?
I said fight.
No, dodge. That's the one we want. Oh, nice. Nice.
The wolf has teeth.
And they're sharp.
The wolf does have teeth, but I can't see what I'm... I can't lock on this guy either, okay.
Of course you can.
You tire quickly.
I'm tired of your talk.
I can't see.
I don't want to kill you.
I'm killing you gladly.
You're nowhere
nice.
near my level.
Well,
not.
I just run away. Just run away.
Kingslayer.
So all my... I tell you what, I can actually put some Hangman's Venom on this, can't I? Which we may as well. Let's use some good stuff. What have we got? Brown oil? Let's do brown oil. I don't actually use this. I don't know if we can make the guy bleed, but let's have a go. Let's replay Ring Around the Roses. Yoo-hoo! I don't think we can. I don't think. Oh, nasty! Didn't see that coming. Dodge. Okay, we'll run away again. Let him go, your Witcher brothers. I don't know. He had no qualms about dropping me in the shit at the start, did he? Which we've been tied up and tortured and all sorts. Damn him. I tried to do a knife throw to start with.
I've had enough of this dance. Goodbye, Geralt.
No! It didn't hit him with the hard when I wanted to. Watch me set myself on fire and die through that. He'll help you out with the wild hunt in Witcher 3 though if he survives here. Oh, nice. Geralt's hurting. Should we call it a draw? There goes his sword. Oh, big slash. I guess not. Guess there's no second chances. Well, when I played Witcher 3, he wasn't there to help me out. So, we'll assume that I killed him in the imaginary playthrough of Witcher 2 that I didn't do before playing Witcher 3 then. No, I didn't sync the save game, but there was an option to simulate those options, I think. If I remember right. Well, he's done anyway now. The default option without syncing or simulating is that he is dead. That kind of makes sense then. So many different things to do, though, if I play through this one again. And I would, not for the combat on the big beasties, the big boss fights. I don't think I've enjoyed any of them. But I've enjoyed the story a lot. You think killing him is a bad call? I don't think there are any bad calls. There's two options, both very viable and a different option depending on the way you feel about the game. So I did out of curiosity because I wanted to see what the fight was like at the end. Geralt looks surprised at that. It's cool to have Roach's reaction to Letho. Oh, we'll have to see that. Another option. In another universe, in another playthrough. I'm going to roast some sausages on that bonfire of corpses. A little snack before we head off into the wilderness.
The Witcher had traveled far and wide in search of the king's lairs. Along the way, he had met both the righteous and scoundrels, Bernard Laredo amongst the latter. Laredo sold Flotsam to Kedwin and scattered the local non-humans to the four winds.
Did we not get him?
Flotsam became a military base. Its civilian population was resettled. In Edirn, the Witcher witnessed Saskia the Dragon Slayer achieve a great victory. The Pontar Valley, previously Upper Edirn, became a promised land for outcasts who dared dream of freedom. Even sly old Zoltan Chive came to believe in this land of bliss. Yet dark times approached for the architects of the New Order. Dark clouds had been gathering over Temeria since Foltest's death. Stripped of its king, the land was like a rich cloth which nobles began to shred. These minor scavengers, however, scurried off in fear when true predators reached out for their prize. The summit at Loch Muin sealed the fate of Foltest's realm, when Radovid of Redania and Henselt of Kedwin divided it between them.
That's an insane belt that Henselt has.
Years before, Geralt of Rivia had witnessed the fall of the Council and Conclave of Mages. The summit in Loch Muin re-established both bodies, their founders sacrificing Sheila de Tanzerville and her accomplices. Yet Radovid also required humility and loyalty from the proud mages, but this did not sit well with all of them. It was a time of great uncertainty, of rape accomplished by royal decree. Yet as troubled as the days seemed, we, who had in some way shaped the world's fate, finally received some respite. Zoltan resumed the quest for his beloved's hand, and I laid my head in a lapse of the muses. Who could have known this tempest which had ravaged the north was but a harbinger of darker days, and the preamble to an entirely new tale of Geralt of Rivia.
And hence Witcher 3. Okay. View the credits to see the game ending. Okay. So I guess we sit through this. Witcher 2 game is based on the prose of Andrei... I missed the last bit. What's it called? Sorovsky or something like that? I never know how to pronounce those Eastern European names. So, lots of choices I made in that game. And it felt like in all the Witcher game... Well, certainly in the Witcher 3 that I played in the expansions, there's no simple choices. Ever. That was good fun though, wasn't it? What would I do differently if I played through again? I've let Letho go at the end, obviously, just to see what the difference was. I would... I don't know. Maybe I could help Philippa when she's in the dungeon instead of running off to help Triss. That still felt the right thing to do what I did. And it's led to, I think, a decent outcome for her and Saskia. Be interesting to see what the alternatives are. I could play... If I played a Vernon Roach playthrough, as in followed him instead of Yorvith, that would be different. Kind of like what happened at Vergen. But I guess I want to see the other side of the game, so... Wow. Stennis might survive, and we might get Henselt's blood if we went the other way. Would we need that? Would we need the blood? Would we be involved in that quest line there at all? I don't know. I think we should probably play it, or I should probably play it at some time to view that. I don't know whether it'd be worth playing through again on stream. Maybe this time next year for the next season of Witcher, if it's out next year. Might be longer. Kind of like to play Witcher 3 again. I think I'll play Witcher 1, but I'll do that off stream because it looks janky as hell. And we'll see how that goes. So, the combat in this was kind of interesting. It's similar to Witcher 3. Really gets going once you get plenty of talent spent. And it is fun. But the boss fights, those scripted boss fights, are not so good. Don't think I liked any of them. Mostly for the camera angles, I've got to admit. You just in the K-Run and that dragon fight, you cannot see very well where attacks are coming from, where the boss is at any one time. And that makes it super annoying to play. But the rest of the combat against regular guys and bods and some semi-dangerous monsters was okay. Oh, I don't want to see all this. Can we skip this? Pressing some buttons. If I press escape. That's okay. We get to see this then. That poor hare is about to get shot, right? I'm predicting. It looks too cute and innocent. Something's gonna happen to the hare. He says, ah, there's dinner. This is timed out really well, actually. Yeah, wow, okay. That was far easier than any of my experiences of capturing such things. There's a rickety old bridge. Nilfgaard? Nope. Or is it? It's got the black sun on. Should have moved. Oh, is he alright? Well, maybe alright is too strong a case to use. Dragon food. There's a dog in the credits. So, oh dear. This is Nilfgaard's invasion of the North then. Oh wow. Witcher 3. Think you prefer going with Roach in Flotsam and deal with the asshat there and then save Saskia instead of going after Triss? The game does give you lots of good options, I think. Very interesting ones. Like, there's no decision where you think, yeah, it's a clear-cut this or that. Everything of those... There's not like good and evil decisions. They're all like... as they should be, and as fits the books and everything. Very close-cut shades of grey, which I quite like. Burning up villages and forests in front of your army doesn't seem too smart. Not with wooden bridges on the other side, no. Okay, that was good. That was good. Worth it for the story. Most of the game and the combat was good. One or two bits were frustrating. It's interesting to see how that then becomes Witcher 3 and how they ironed out so many of the things I found frustrating in there. You get a mount, you get an open world, so there's less of these corridor-like dead-end sections in the forest and the world. You get fast travel. You get a really cool mini-game, which is better than the dice thing in this. I think, yeah, they've taken it and moved on in great ways. Real good difference. I don't know what any future Witcher game will be like. Hard to imagine. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, that's filled the time in very nicely. That is a 4-hour stream up and done there. So I'll disappear now. I have a lot of work to do in the studio before the next stream. I've got to get furniture in, get things changed around, and get things back to normal. You can't see, but there is a huge pile of crap of old, not necessarily old, but just PC spare parts and boxes and audio cables, hard drives and routers, graphics card boxes, just loads of stuff over there which needs then sorting back out, which was previously hidden by the green screen and will be hidden once again. We shall see. But we should be back on Monday. I might come back at the weekend. Oh, next game. We haven't talked too much about that. Definitely on the cards is a Crusader Kings 3 playthrough, but God of War comes out pretty soon, doesn't it? I thought I was going to have more time before that comes out. And I wouldn't mind playing that because it's been hyped up for so long by so many people. I've never experienced it, so yeah, I'd kind of like to play that through on PC. Might not be the best thing to try and play it on release, though. I remember Horizon Zero Dawn, or whatever it was called, was just a what do you call it? An unoptimized mess on release. and it needed a few patches before that was working better. So, yeah, next game. What will I stream next? I might start over the weekend if I get things done in time. We might be able to fit in a Crusader Kings 3 stream, or a Hearts of Iron 4 stream, or playthrough, I should say, campaign. Just Cause 3 would be your suggestion. I might play the Just Cause games, but if I stream them, it'll be at some point, I think, when there's some tie-in with, like, a new one being released or some reboot or something like that. Just to try and generate a bit more interest for the videos and the streams, I think. God of War's good if you like the mythology. 14th of Jan for the God of War. That gives me a week. That's a bit tight to... Mind you, I won't release it on... I won't play it on release, so... I might get a Crusader Kings 3 game fully played through in that time. Don't know. I'll have a think. I will have a think. Anyway, thanks for hanging out again today, folks. I should be back on Monday. I might be back over the weekend with an unscheduled stream, so do keep an eye on the notifications. Do get them turned on. If you haven't already, then head over to our Discord. There's a link in chat, and you can stay tuned with all the news and developments there and meet some awesome members of the community. And we've got a free games alert channel, so when stuff's been given away free, you'll find a notification in there. Right, well, have a good night. Have a great weekend if I don't see you, and I'll catch you on the next one. I hope you enjoyed Witcher 2. Good night for now.